Madam Speaker, is so impressive that the Senate of Bungoma is barely 2 years old in this House. But you can see, Madam Speaker, the way he has moved this bill so ably. And I want to congratulate him, but not surprising, because he shares the same DNA with Henry Pius Masinda Muliro, freedom fighter, one of the founding fathers of this nation. Madam Speaker, I am very happy for what has happened in the National Assembly, for what I'm hearing about this bill in this House, and extremely happy for the industry of the committee, because they went around the country. And I remember when they came to Western, I was traveling to Kigali. I cut short my trip and joined them in Kakamega and made my contribution. Our people made their contribution, and I can see all those contributions included in this bill. Madam Speaker, being a very happy day for me, allow me to congratulate them and also congratulate the new Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, Professor Kindiki. Madam Speaker, how things change. You know, just the other day, Professor was our leader of majority in this House. I had a new entrant, and we used to call him Junior, and you know, he's a very humble man. Little did we know that he would be where he is today. I have no doubt that he will do a good job. Madam Speaker, I want to tell the farmers back home that this parliament has given them a God-sent breath of pure oxygen. Why, Madam Speaker? Because this is an industry that supports 8 million people. This is an industry that supports 600,000 small-scale farmers. This is an industry, Madam Speaker, that supports 5 government-owned factories and supports 9 privately owned factories, Madam Speaker. All these factories, they come with jobs. How we allowed the sugar industry to collapse purely because of poor legislation through an animal called AFA, I have never understood what became of the 11th Parliament when they did that misadventure. Madam Speaker, our sugar in this country, thanks to the kind of climate we have and the kind of soils that we have, is sugar which is high refined form, and it is known, Madam Speaker, for its great crystalline shape and purity, free of smell, and 100% fit for human consumption. Madam Speaker, I'm privileged to come from Kakamega in the catchment area that produces, Madam Speaker, 80% of all the sugar consumed, not just in Kenya, but 80% of all the sugar that is consumed in the East African community. Led by, Madam Speaker, Mumias Sugar Company, which is the biggest, and, Madam Speaker, the best. I want to use this opportunity, Madam Speaker, to congratulate the new investor in Mumias Sugar Company. He has brought order the nucleus farm, 12,500 acres that had collapsed. He has regenerated it. I was there yesterday, Madam Speaker. The cane is so beautiful, you feel like you just fly over with a chopper and you see life in Kakamega when you see that kind of scenery, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, I want to speak to the cardinal issues in this bill that should be the reason why we should, all of us, support it wholeheartedly. The first one, Madam Speaker, is the new schedule. In the new schedule, we have managed to contain through legislation the conmanship, fraud, and trickery that was being practiced by one infamous investor in the sugar factory who would actually poach cane from other factories that had developed that cane. You would see those days, Madam Speaker, trucks pulling trailers of 36 wheels, Mr. Speaker. Madam Speaker, this nonsense has been controlled by the introduction of new zones, of sugar zones, which are now catchment areas. And in the counties of Kisumu, South Nandi, and Kericho, they have been given the central catchment area. Upper Western has been given Bungoma, Kakamega, excluding Trans Nzoia, Uasin-Gishu, and Northern Nandi districts. And then Lower Western, Madam Speaker, has been given Mumias, Busia, and Siaya counties. Southern Western has been given Migori, Homa Bay, Kisii, Narok counties, and finally Coast is Tana River, Lamu, and Kwale counties. Madam Speaker, the next important thing that members of the public should rejoice is on the issue of establishment, the re-establishment of the Sugar Board. The Sugar Board, before it was removed by the AFA law, was responsible for regulation of this industry, and everybody was a winner. But since it went away, Madam Speaker, we have had problem after problem, and we are glad that it is back, and this bill gives it the responsibility to regulate, develop, and promote the sugar industry. Secondly, the board will be expected to coordinate the activities of the value chain actors within this important industry, and finally facilitate equitable access to the benefits and resources of the industry by all interested parties. Madam Speaker, the other cardinal issue that has been captured by this bill is the issue of establishment of a special institute for research, for technology and research. The world is changing. Climate change, acidity and alkalinity of our soils. Without technology coming out of this research institute, then, Madam Speaker, we cannot continue getting quality sugar and pamba harvest as is expected. Madam Speaker,